Okay, in this video we are going to discuss meal planning. And it's first to note that behavior change is all about good planning. We discussed this when we talked about developing good habits in the first week of this course. And this doesn't mean you have to do a massive meal prepping session like you see bodybuilders do or have a whole ton of Tupperware containers in your fridge. Instead, it just means planning out your day and week so you know what schedule you have, what meals you're going to eat, and when you're going to eat them. This way you're more organized. So even if you're just grabbing lunch from the closest cafe to work, you'll have already planned this out rather than going and making an impromptu meal decision, which is often unhealthy. So what we're going to do in this video is give you a 6-step process to meal planning. And that might sound like a lot, but you get it right once or twice and it will become pretty easy to do. So step 1. First, you're going to determine how many meals and snacks you are going to have per day. Studies show that the most successful diets are 3 to 5 meals plus snacks per day. So maybe 3 meals and 2 snacks. And it's just you're more likely to match your calorie targets when you're eating that amount. You can have less meals and snacks. They just have to be much bigger meals, and people sometimes struggle with that. So the second step in this process is how many of these meals need to be prepped in advance and how many can be taken care of with portable snacks or eating out. And that helps you plan what you'll need to buy and cook. For example, do you want to batch cook some chicken at the beginning of the week to make it easier to add to salads and other meals? Do you want to buy a few ready-made meals that you know are going to be easy if you're going to be coming home late? Are you going to need to buy and prepare some overnight oats for breakfast for several days during the week? Those are just some examples. The third step is we're going to work out how much protein you need per meal. And that's pretty straightforward. Your coach is going to help you with this, but then you take your daily protein target and you just divide that by the number of meals or snacks you're going to eat. So the simplest example is, let's say your daily protein target is 100 grams of protein and you're planning on eating 4 meals plus snacks. That means you want an average of 25 grams of protein per meal. Okay, the next thing, because we are focused on making sure we hit that protein target, is to pick a protein source for each meal. This is easier because we know roughly how many meals and how much protein per meal. And just as a reminder, your good protein sources are lean meats, fish, canned tuna, eggs, Greek yogurt, whey protein supplement, or if you're a vegan, you can do a rice, pea, hemp protein supplement, beans, lentils, or tofu. The 5th step in our meal planning process is to pick a carbohydrate source for each meal. We're not as concerned about whether you get your carbohydrate grams correct. We want to focus on protein this week. But your good carb sources are things like fruit, vegetables, potatoes, sweet potato, oats, beans, or quinoa. You just want to beware with your carbohydrates that we track these because we can overeat carbohydrate often. The last step for your meal planning is to pick a fat source for each meal. Here's some good fat sources. People think fat is unhealthy. That is not necessarily true, especially if you get good sources of fat. Your body actually needs this in the diet, and you can, as long as you're eating the right amount, still match your calorie targets. So some good fat sources are avocado, olive oil, salmon or other oily fish, butter, cheese. Yes, you can have butter and cheese, olives, nuts and nut butters, and seeds. So if you do those 6 steps, you'll have a plan for the upcoming week. And this helps avoid those rushed or spur-of-the-moment eating decisions that are often unhealthy and don't help us progress. Now, you still have to track your food to make sure you're hitting your targets, but this should help you get closer to your targets and make sure you're making good meal decisions.